I feel like it would be kind of petty to talk about this Twitter drama, but I think it might be worth talking about since a lot of people have been inquiring about my opinion on this, and it's been like the talk of the town on my corner of Twitter. Should I talk about the Twitter drama? All right, I'll do it. I might as well, just to clear the air about everything. Listen, everybody. Hypers, if you've heard of a YouTuber, a lefty YouTuber by the name of Korviday. I presume most of you won't have, because they're still quite small, but many of you probably do. Okay, that's a few amount of hypers. So, way back, like, I would say 3 months ago, maybe, Korviday was shit-talking me a lot on Twitter. They're kind of a woke skull, to be completely honest with you. Just shit-talking me nonstop. This is actually around the time when the harem drama happened, the very stupid drama, and at first I was just like, okay, I'm gonna ignore this person. They made like a bunch of indefensible claims about me. I could like easily fucking blow them out in a debate. No chance they're gonna debate me though, because the things they're claiming about me are just like, They can't do it. They wouldn't be able to defend these claims in a debate. It would be easy. It would be fucking that easy, okay? But then I got a message from Chud Logic, fellow streamer boy who does content like I do, but also likes to host debates. And he offered to host a debate between me and Korviday, quote, over our disagreements and Twitter drama. And I was like, okay, fucking cool. All right, hey, if Korviday is down to have a debate over the indefensible shit they've been saying about me on Twitter, I'm down to do it. I am 100% down to do it. So I agreed, sure enough. And the night before the debate, I got very excited. I was very, very confident. I would argue too confident. Because I went to Twitter and I started reading all the things they'd said about me. And I wrote down a bunch of their claims, especially the ones which were like about 90% of the things that they were saying about me, the ones revolving around the harem spooky drama. And I wrote down their claims, and I wrote up small little responses just to sort of like get, just to get like some responses set and ready, just to prepare, preparing for a debate. And I was very confident. Let's go ahead and look over a few of the claims that Korviday made about me before, like on Twitter before we did this debate. There was the Xanderhall's fan base is attacking Spooky and calling her a liar and manipulative, a thing that not only didn't really happen, but also, even if it did, would probably be justified. Not the attacking, but like calling her a liar and manipulative or referring her to her that way is pretty fair. The evidence is out there. It's pretty apparent she lied about more or less everything that happened. The evidence is there. Like screenshots, they're all available publicly. Like you can just see it. It's fine. Then he also, or he, they, I think he goes by he, they, Korviday tweeted, I don't care if she's manipulative, I believe her. Xan has proven in the past that he deserves zero respect. So that was a claim that they made. She has a tiny platform and no fan base, had a parasocial relationship, etc. If I misled a vulnerable fan to thinking we're in a relationship, it would be my fault. Xander Hall's just like Pro Jared. I don't care about Xan's feelings. He had it coming. I literally don't care. He deserves it because of his past behavior. I give zero fucks about him looking bad. This is a direct quote from Korviday that they posted on Twitter. Spooky is the victim of Xan's abuse. Xander Hall is abusive, so we can't trust him. Then this is revolving around Twitter drama. You blocked me on Twitter for disagreeing with you. Xander Hall is being anti-SJW by supporting Destiny dunking on Lottie Blix for her stupid take on Debate Bros. Breadtube is going full circle and becoming anti-SJW. I miss the old days when H-Bomb and non-Debate Bro lefties destroyed people like Xander Hall and Vosh. Xander Hall was alt-right a year ago and is now retweeting Destiny's anti-SJW takes. Vosh trained this dude how to stream and let him loose on Twitch. You can't just learn a few leftist concepts and become a leftist figure. Xan's not ready. Vosh knows Xander Hall is getting worse and is becoming a liability. He is separating himself from Xan because he is becoming a problem for him. He is also probably worried that Xan will fall back into being a reactionary. People going after Thought Slime for saying Xan has a sex cult, just hyperbole. When he is criticizing someone who has been explicitly ableist, called trans people mentally ill, fetishizes and dehumanizes trans people, blocks trans people who call him out, while calling himself an ally. Damn. A lot of nothing true. Engages in ableism, calling trans people mentally ill, haven't done that. Fetishizing and dehumanizing trans people, blocks trans people, call them out. Does all this and still calls himself an ally. Xan saying he wouldn't have sex as ContraPoints, one of the biggest leftist YouTube creators, because she is trans, is dehumanizing cis white guy shit. It's creepy. Good thing I didn't say that. Fuck anyone who thinks it's okay to speak about trans people in such a sexual way. Speculation on genitals, blah, blah, blah. So then there was like the trans, stop building your brand around being a trans ally. So basically like a ton of shit just slandering me. Like blatantly, easily falsifiable, dumb shit that Korviday said about me. And Chudlogic invited me on to debate this person. So as you can see, with how much prep I did and how fucking indefensible all these claims are, I was really excited to go on there and talk to Korviday. But the day comes, that dreaded day comes, where I start my stream, I get into the VC, set up my camera, we get in there, and we're just about to start. We're just about to start the debate. When Korviday and Chudlogic tell me something. They tell me that, or Chudlogic specifically, although it's clear Korviday was, suggested this to Chudlogic. Chudlogic told me that the victim, Spooky, had requested that we not be allowed to talk about the harem drama during that debate. So more or less, like I would say, like 75 to 80% of the shit Korviday had tweeted about me, talking shit, was about the harem drama. Maybe like 20% of it was about me being a transphobic. And then there was one tweet, if I recall correctly, about ableism, saying that I was ableist. But now I was no longer allowed to talk about the vast majority of the dumb shit, the indefensible shit that Korviday had said about me. It kind of reminded me, hold on, have any of you guys ever seen, and obviously if you've seen the debate, you know how it went terribly for me. Korviday had done a fantastic job of setting the field, so it'd be impossible for me to come out looking good. Korviday played the optics game flawlessly. Even my own chat, even you guys, while we were debating that, because, they laser focused in on the ableism stuff and said, well, I really think you need to stop engaging in ableism. I was like, okay, yeah, I guess. I like to debate these things in my own head to figure out whether or not certain rhetoric is causes more good than it does harm. And then you guys were like ableist, like fucking yikesing me in chat. So unquestionably, like without a doubt, that is a debate that I lost. Because of how things were set up. Now, this doesn't mean that Korviday was right, and I'll completely concede that I lost that debate. But I mean, we were literally forbidden from talking about the majority of the shit that Korviday had said about me. Because Chudlogic didn't want a platform. Now, I want to clarify, don't shit on Chudlogic. Chudlogic did not know, how bad or what extent the harem drama went. He was not aware that there was tons of evidence out debunking all of the shit that Spooky had said about me, that there were screenshots out. He just wasn't aware, so it's not really his fault. Regardless, though, yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I did a fucking amazing debate. I did a debate against a couple that has been sort of stalking me for a while. It's super weird. It's more or less stalking, named Cancel Couture and Cool Dogs. They're on Twitter, they're on YouTube, all of that shit. Losing a rigged debate isn't shameful, my dude. Well, that's why I'm explaining the events now, to illustrate the fact that it was in fact a rigged debate. Kind of a weird way to word it, but regardless, I'll get into it in a second. Now, what ended up happening was I ended up debating Cancel Couture and Cool Dogs, two people who made the claim that I was like a rapist, Onision on a Breadtube, abusing my fans, all of that kind of stuff. And in a legendary 1v2, me against them, debate, I fucking destroyed them over the course of 2 hours and 43 minutes. They came out of it looking fucking ridiculous. It was more or less like exactly how the Korviday debate should have gone, because they were making the same claims as Korviday, Although I would actually argue Korviday's were even more unsubstantiated and indefensible. Now, I did brag about winning this debate a little bit on Twitter. It felt good. Like, I got over 1,000 viewers, and you know, it was very, very fun. I had a good time. I did brag about winning the debate a little bit on Twitter. If you want to, here, really quick, make sure I don't show any porn on stream, because I follow a lot of sex workers on Twitter. So what I ended up doing was, the other night, after this debate, I tweeted this. I tweeted, won my first 1v2 pylon debate and got over 1,000 viewers tonight. Feels good, man. That's all I tweeted. That's all I tweeted about it. Got 348 likes. It did pretty good. And after this, Korviday on Twitter started messaging me. Or not messaging me, but like tweeting about me, like subtweeting me. If you want to go back, I mean, here they are subtweeting me here. If you want to go back even further, I refuse to let cis white guys have monopoly, quick clickbaity titles. I've nearly finished editing my video about accountability and responsibility deplatforming. Let's see, where is it? This is where it started. It was down here. Maybe deleted it. I don't know. Listen, if you want to see some crazy shit, here, actually, I think I quote tweeted him. Did I quote tweet him? There it is. Here we are. So, okay, so, holy shit, I'll get to that in a second. So, I responded to Cool Dogs, one of the guys that I was debating, and, I talked a little bit of shit. Granted, they were calling me the Onision of Breadtube and lying about me, trying to spread misinformation, ruin my reputation, possibly even try to ruin my career with, you know, can't slander the Xander, though, you know how it is. And I quote tweeted them, and I got a little, you know, little heated. I hope you and your GF's asses heal from the pounding I gave you both live on stream last night. I was only using 50% of my brain power too, since the other half was focusing on Minecraft. And this is the tweet. They claimed that I lied, that I didn't know it was going to be a 2v1. They claimed that I was lying. So he shows a screenshot of DMs that we had back in July, almost a month ago, where he says, hit me up when you have a stream date. Also, I'm going I'm going to bring on my BF Cool Dog, since he was pretty involved in the making of this video. And I said, sounds good. And yeah, I forgot that it was going to be a 2v1. So I guess that makes me a liar. Forgetting things makes you a liar. It had nothing to do with any arguments or anything like that. This was just like him being really, really salty. You know, he's getting, dogpiled for it. This is just him being salty. He and his girlfriend got blown out, and so he's like shit talking. But after I quote tweeted this, Korviday hopped in to the replies, and I actually had forgotten about Korviday at this point. You know, Korviday isn't really a big YouTuber. I didn't really care all that much. But then they decided just to come out of nowhere and start shit again. And I remember thinking to myself, why? Why would Korviday, like, all of a sudden start trying to start shit with me? Like, what's going on here? And I realized something. Korviday's plan, when we first debated, was to put me in a position where I was unable to defend myself against the false allegations of sexual misconduct from which had been thrown at me by Spooky, remember? But now I have released all the screenshots debunking these false claims. I've very competently defended myself multiple times in debates and in videos, acknowledging the drama. And then last night, or the other night, I absolutely tear apart someone who came on to try to do the exact same thing Korviday tried to do. Korviday is seething that I had the opportunity to fairly defend myself against these false allegations. He's really mad the damage he was able, and don't get me wrong, he did some damage to my reputation after the debate that we did. I came out of that looking fucking terrible, especially because not only was I unable to defend myself against the accusations they'd made, but they also were able to label me as like an ableist or whatever. So out of nowhere, Korviday comes in, I hadn't spoken to them in a while, comes in and says, bro, why didn't you upload our debate to your channel? Now, the reason why I didn't upload a video of the debate to the channel is obvious. I came out of it looking terrible, which is by design on Korviday's end. However, I never delete VODs unless something TOS happens in them. The VOD is still up to this day. You can go find it. It should be like number 50-something in the VOD playlist. It's labeled Korviday Debate. You guys can go find it. And it's there. I am obviously not going to fucking try to delete it off the internet. Also, it's on Chud Logic's channel as well. So out of nowhere, Korviday comes along and starts shit-talking and, like, getting into arguments with people. Here's, like, a screenshot of what they look like. Korviday stopped responding to that. We can actually go back and see that let's see. Korviday says, because I pounded him, you know, bragging about winning a debate. That was more or less rigged, if we want to be reductive with the language. And what I ended up doing... Yeah, here it is. We're going to see what comes from this, okay? We're going to see what comes of this. So I quote tweet it and say, "It's because you refuse to talk about all the pathetic shit you said about me on Twitter and talked Chud Logic into letting you do it. I'll admit you played the optics game perfectly by laser focusing on ableism when that was like 1/8 of the shit you tweeted about me. As a matter of fact, going back and looking over all of these arguments they'd made about me, it's more like 1/30th of what they said about me on Twitter. And laser focusing on ableism, yeah, and then you tweet about me. And then I said, then you had a baby bitch. Oh, I forgot about this. Fuck. I forgot about how fucking legendary this was. Oh, boy. Okay. So what ended up happening next was the next day, Korviday was supposed to go on Riley Grace Rashong's channel. You all know who Riley Grace is? Hypers, if you know who Riley Grace is. Riley Grace Rashong invited me and Korviday to go on her channel and have a rematch debate, or like a reflection kind of debate. Because after the debate that I had with Korviday, believe it or not, I thought Korviday was in good faith to a degree. I knew something was up with the not allowing me to talk about the harem drama stuff. But regardless, I was like, okay, cool. We can have a follow-up conversation. I was even in like fairly good terms with Korviday. But the next day, what I did was, can I hide my other conversations with people? I don't want to, like, dox all my conversations with people. Is that possible? Is it possible not to... Can I just, like, open this up in its own box, maybe? Is that possible, Twitter? Would you do that for me? Would you do that for me, Twitter? Alright, I guess I'll just bring up the little box version that you get normally on Twitter. Where is it? Here it is. Found it. I'll go ahead and show you. Display capture. There we go. What? There we go. Okay. So I messaged, because towards the end of the debate I had on Chud Logic's stream, Korviday said that they wanted to get into debating reactionaries on you know, like streaming it and what have you. And so I offered, hey, I'll DM you later, and we can talk in private, and I can give you some advice and like help setting up streaming and all that stuff, so you can get into being like a debate bro, you know? So I messaged them the day after the debate, May 25th, 2020. Would you like advice on dealing with reactionaries if you want to start doing takedowns of their content? Didn't read it. And later that day went on to start bragging with the other woke scolds, like the notorious woke scolds of Twitter, about how they blew me the fuck out and all that kind of shit. So that's more or less when I realized that Korviday was in completely bad faith in that debate, more or less sort of stacked the playing field in a way where it would be impossible for me to defend myself in the marketplace of ideas. And yeah. Aw, the kitties watching me on stream. You guys want to see a cute thing? Here. Look, Hyena sent me this. Hi, Pigeon. How you doing? You little gremlin. You're very cute. Sphinx cat. Love Sphinx cats. Anyway, little scrotomy. Anyway, with all of that said, I have proposed to Korviday publicly that we have another debate, since Korviday seems pretty confident that they could destroy me again. So I propose that we have another debate, only this time we have Riley Grace Rashong host the debate with nothing off topic. Nothing out of bounds. All topics on the table. All claims they've made about me on the table to talk about. Now, they're going to decline. Well, some of the reason why I'm making this video is so there'll be some pressure on Korviday to actually do it. So you guys can all go and, tweet at Korviday very politely, requesting that we have a rematch debate with Riley Grace Rashong as the moderator. But the reason why I think this is unlikely is the day that Riley Grace invited me on to talk with Korviday again, Korviday said no. Korviday dipped out and was like, no, I'm too tired, like an hour before I was supposed to go on there with them. And I was like, oh, okay, they're not going on. I guess that's fine. I'll just have a pleasant conversation with Riley Grace. And I get on there, and at this point, I'd already collected a significant amount of the screenshots that I now have that have sort of proven my innocence, right? Debunking all the claims against me. And so I started talking with Riley Grace and debunking all of the claims, showing screenshots on stream that back it all up. And Korviday joined the chat, despite allegedly being asleep, joined the chat and had all I can describe as a baby bitch mental breakdown in chat, screaming about how Riley Grace needs to end this right now, how she needs to stop platforming this is against the wishes of the victim, just like actually freaking the fuck out, like cussing in chat, and then left. Basically demanding that Riley Grace not allow me to defend myself because the victim wishes not to have it discussed. Mind you, the victim who went out of her way to have Thought Slime signal boost the drama, to have Kevin Logan signal boost the drama, to have basically every woke scold on Twitter signal boost the drama. It was a fairly coordinated attempt to try to make me look bad. And I'm fine with that. I basically sort of came to agreement with that. But I've noticed a lot of people in my community speak about Korviday positively, because I'll admit Korviday's got some good content, especially that one Shrek video, how Shrek is like leftist or whatever. That was a good video. I watched that like a while ago. And that's why I was partly so surprised at how much of a piece of shit Korviday is. But nonetheless, I figured since this is some currently happening Twitter drama that I might as well talk about it and give my thoughts on it and sort of keep you all caught up on that, as well as acknowledge what I would argue is probably the most significant stain on my reputation to this day, which is, without a doubt, the Korviday debate. The consensus was among basically everybody that Korviday blew me out in that debate, which is true, because how can you not get blown out when you're unable to discuss the claims about you? Actually, you know what it reminded me of? I think I used this allegory, this example, this comparison. Who's ever seen the show Raising Hope? For those of you that haven't, which I assume is most of you, Raising Hope was a show about a dude named Jimmy Chance who ends up having a one-night stand with a random woman and getting her pregnant, and she then has a baby. But it turns out she's a serial killer, so she ends up getting sentenced to death row, she ends up getting executed, and Jimmy is forced to raise this baby, which he names Hope. But there's an episode later in the show where it turns out the serial killer mom didn't die from being executed. She survived and is suing to get her baby back, because as it turns out, apparently in the show, I don't know if this is a real thing, if the state fails to properly execute you, you can sue them. And she was able to get to sue to get put off death row and get like released and all of that, and was now suing the Chance family to get the baby, to take the baby. Now, obviously, the main character and his family do in fact. Holy shit! This is what's happening. My career with can't slander the Xander though. You know how it is. And I respond, and I quote tweeted them, and I got a little, little heated. I hope you and your GF's asses heal from the pounding I gave. Holy shit! I can understand why people call me Diet Vosh. I kind of do sound like him. Oh my god. I guess I can't be that mad. Also, yes, that is a cute kitty, and I'm going to go ahead and show this on screen while I finish explaining the rest of this. So, what ended up happening was sorry. In the show, what ends up happening is she tries to sue the family to get the baby back. They do like a court case. And the problem is because the state because the state had failed to execute her, she had made a demand for this court case. The demand was they were not allowed to mention the fact that she is a convicted serial killer in this court case to decide who gets to keep a baby. Now, at first, they're like, oh, okay, well, this can't be that bad. I mean, who hasn't heard about this notorious serial killer? They must have been living under a rock not to have been around for that. Turns out it was actual like miners that had been underground for like years at this point that had been pulled in to do the jury. So they were now completely not allowed to discuss this insanely damning bit of information that is probably pretty relevant to the court case of whether or not this woman should have the baby that whether or not this woman should have custody over this child. And it's called Raising Hope. And they were legally not allowed to mention it. And I think they ended up losing the court case, but then winning. It was weird. I don't remember the exact episode, but I kind of felt like that, where I was being pigeonholed into discussing this ableism topic, which I can't come out of looking good, right? Like, this NB is on my stream arguing that I'm not woke enough. Of course my chat's going to side with the NB arguing that I'm not woke enough, okay? It's inevitable. While not being able to acknowledge the vast majority of the indefensible claims they'd made about me. I kind of felt like that, just for those of you who are aware of that episode and get the reference. Anyway, the reason why I bring all this up is because I propose a rematch debate, but with no topics with all topics on the table this time. So, hey. Wanted to acknowledge that stain on my debate report card, as well as propose a rematch. That was my intention with this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Dipping into a little Twitter drama.